Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Adrian's Digital Basement. It's Wednesday, so you know what that means. It's time for another midweek mini-mail call. This is episode 61, which is simply incredible. Just because I can't believe how many I've made and how many generous things have been sent in from my viewers. So that's enough of an intro. Without further ado, let's get to the mail call items. So this package comes from Stuart. Yep, that's the Stuart we all know. Sent in the Apple II Plus among many, many other machines. Let's see what goodies lie within. All right, well, so I think what these are kind of a follow-up to the last mail call video, number 60, where I had those little logos that were candies that tasted more like pencil erasers. So I think that's what's going on here. So let's lift this out and see what else is in here. I think there's a bunch of 3D printed goodies in here. So there are. Okay, well, let's check out the candy first. So the last time I had those gummy candies, well, you know, I think they weren't so great. They came from Charlie Bucket, but I know they actually came from Stuart. And he made me another batch. And they were homemade. Okay, there they are. They certainly smell a little bit more like candy this time and a little bit less like rubber. Okay, so on the right are a little assortment. Oh, and they're really soft. They are not at all like they were last time where they were completely solid rubber. So let's see what this little dog bone tastes like. Yeah, that was pretty good. A little blueberry-ish tasting. Stuart told me that he was using all natural ingredients in this, so there's no artificial, well, it's probably artificial color, but I think the flavoring was natural. I'm not totally sure on that, actually. The dog bone here is the kind of white color of what was under the logos here, so the background of the logo. So let me try one of these. These are also soft and not all rubbery. So let's see how this one is. Oh. Also soft and good. I don't know what flavor the white or beige color is supposed to be. It's hard to decipher. I'm just going to try the constituent red dog bone here, which is also very soft. It's very floppy and soft, so I think it's going to be good. Let's see what it tastes like. Not very strong flavors, not super sweet on any of these. Yeah, it's definitely decent. Factory-made candy, that's super fine-tuned, you know, with the mixtures and the ingredients. Definitely a little bit better tasting when it comes to the overall flavor. But these were made at home in the kitchen, and I gotta say that really pretty good, all things considered. So here are the logos. So the constituent parts we've already tasted are the red, the blue, and sort of the beige background. There's also this dark color here. Now, I'm not sure there's even any difference in the flavoring between the three of these things, but definitely there's a coloring difference. So why don't we just grab this right here, a red Adrian's Digital Basement logo, see how it tastes. Is it going to be pencil eraser or not? It's not bad and not bad at all. And I almost think that the beige color part of the candy is maybe like a milk type flavor. Hard to tell exactly. I gotta say, compared to the first batch, about 1 trillion times better because these are actually edible. So pretty darn good. Good effort, really good effort. I can't imagine how hard it is actually to make these types of gummy candies. So very, very cool. I'm wondering if keeping them in the fridge would help prolong their life. The fact that they're not full of artificial preservatives means that they probably don't have the shelf life. I mean, for sure they don't have the shelf life of Haribo, as an example, which sort of lasts forever. As you saw in the last video, they survived melting in the car and coming back together as a solid mass and still tasted delicious. So let's move those aside and let's check out the 3D printed goodies. All right, so we have these beige things here, and what these are, and we have basically 4 sets of the same thing printed over and over again. These are Breadbin wall mounts. So there are holes there, you see there on the back and on the front, and you screw that into the wall, and then you can put your bread bins into this thing, and it will hold it up against the wall. I've been looking for a solution for a while now to wall mount several of my 64 bread bins. Well, not just the 64s. I want to do one of each, like a VIC-20, a 64. Also, I have like a white 64, kind of like an Aldi one, and the plus 4, not the plus 4, the C16. So I thought these would be perfect. So let's just take 2 of these here, and I'm going to grab my Ziff 64, and we'll just see if these fit. So there we go. There is one problem right there. These were designed, they were designed for the low profile case, I guess, because they don't fit on this one. Let's try the other side here. Nope, no fits. Here's my Commodore 16. Let's see if these fit on here. And look at that, perfect fit on this one. And notice here on the side, it actually has sort of this flat part here, so when you put these on the wall, the machine won't be able to slide side to side. And actually I have this sitting on the bench right now, and this actually works as a bench stand as well, so that's pretty cool. But as you saw, it did not work on the Ziff 64, and that's because there are 2 different heights to the bread bins. There's the lower profile and the higher profile, and clearly whoever designed these had the lower profile 64, and that's what they designed these for. So it doesn't work with the higher profile ones. Kind of bums me out. I was hoping that these were designed for the high profile, which I figured the low profile one probably would have fit fine, not as tight of a fit, but it would have been perfect. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So I kind of need to go through my machines and see which are low profile and which are high profile. Clearly the 16 is low profile, so it works fine. But I know I have 64s and VIC-20s that are in both high and low profile. Here's my Aldi replica Commodore 64. It's just a 64 in a VIC-20 case. Is this low profile? I think it might be. Oh, it's not. It's a high profile case, so that doesn't work. What a bummer. What a bummer. Well, thank you very much, Stuart, for printing these. I can still use some, but clearly I'm gonna have to find a different solution or modify the design a little bit here so that it can work with the high profile machines. Okay, so what else is there? Commodore case mount locks. Okay, so what this is, when it's up against the wall, I had a slight concern that the machine, while sitting in these mounts, could tilt forward and fall out onto the ground or whatever. So we printed these things, which are basically like case locks, I guess you could call it. So the way this works is you take one of these and you screw it into the wall, so it's sort of the flat facing away from the wall, and then you take this and you would slot it underneath this little triangular piece, kind of like so. I'm just trying to get it so it's visible in the camera, and I'm sure it's focusing on the keyboard here. And then you would put this hook part through the cartridge slot on the machine, which would be like right around here on this computer. So it'd kind of go like this, and that would hold the top of the computer up against the wall, and it wouldn't allow it to fall forward, no matter what. If there's like a little earthquake or something, it would still stay in place. And then basically to get the computer off the wall, you just slide this out like that, and it leaves the little triangular piece behind, and you lift the computer away, and that would still be screwed into the wall. So we sent a whole assortment of these, which will be great. You just need one per machine, but this is a really good way to make sure the computer stays mounted on the wall and does not go flying off. I will put a link, of course, to the STL file so you can download these yourself if you want to print them. These you can get on Thingiverse. I don't think these are on Thingiverse, but maybe they're somewhere. I'll put a link for sure. And then what do we have here? Amiga RGB to HDMI plates, 3x3. Okay, so I had a video about the RGB to HDMI inside the Amiga 2000. I'll put a link in the description below to that video, but essentially we have the, it's like a PCB that plugs into the video slot. There's a Raspberry Pi Zero on it, and then has an HDMI output of the Amiga video, and it looks amazingly perfect. Well, on my testing, I just had the HDMI cable just coming out the side of the computer, but on the project webpage on GitHub, they basically had a metal plate you could drill or buy, or I don't remember exactly. Maybe they had STL files. Anyways, he printed these for me, and you can screw an HDMI connector on right here. This hole right there is for a button. And then there are two little tabs here for screwing into the PCB just to hold it in place. And this whole thing would screw onto the back of the Amiga. And actually what's kind of cool is he sent me some extras here. What's nice is I think I'm missing that plate on one of my computers. So it'll actually be good to use these. And yeah, so a whole assortment of plates. Excellent. And the last thing are CRT mounts. Oh, right. Okay, so these are adapters to essentially install a CRT, like a different CRT into a Mac, not the one that was designed to go in there. I'm gonna make a video on these, so I will not basically talk about this anymore. I will show that in a video. So thanks very much, Stuart, for sending in all this 3D printed stuff and this candy. I'll definitely do some follow-up videos showing Commodore 64s or machines mounted on the walls and some of this other stuff in use at a future time. All right, so this really large box comes from Michael here in Portland. I'm gonna open this up. We'll see what's inside of this. It's rather large. And the camera angle set up over there, I know it's not the best, but I'm just gonna do a quick unboxing of this. We'll see what goodies lie within. Loads of paper. All right, we have a letter here from Michael, and he says, thanks for your channel and all the great retro things you bring to it. I'm including a copy of a March 30 email I wrote to you about these donations. And that is right. I think I mentioned this before, that sometimes my channel email, I get really behind. When I got this, I picked it up from the P.O. box. I looked at the name on the label and looked it up in my email, and sure enough, I found Michael's email, and I've replied to him already. Unfortunately, he asked about this stuff, and I hadn't gotten back to him, so I feel really bad. Sorry about that, Michael. But here it is. He sent it to me. He says he, due to some living situation issues, he really needed to get rid of this stuff, and he has a Christmas present for 2020, which he's also included in here. Oh, and he says, feel free to say my last name on the video, because it's cool to have different color surnames. So yes, I'm Adrian Black, and this is Michael Orange. So that's kind of cool. All the best, Michael Orange. And he says he's still looking for a couple things that I think are related to stuff in here, and if he finds them, he's gonna send them over to me. Awesome, okay. All right, what's this? Is this the Christmas present? This must be the Christmas present here. All right, well, how about we look at that in a second? I'll just move that off to the side. There's a lot of packing material. This is going to fill up my recycle bin. All right, so the first item is a very nice box for the Commodore 64C, personal computer and ordinateur personnel. So it's got French and English on it. Can't quite tell if the computer's in here, but it might be. I've never seen the box for the 64C, actually. I've only ever seen ones for the later the earlier Breadbins. Okay, it's actually sealed. Get the knife here. And inside the box, we have the original foam. We have a very nice leatherette cover. It doesn't say Commodore, so I'm not sure that's real. And then, well, real as in original Commodore. And I think what's in here is a motherboard for the shortboard, an NTSC one. And sure enough, it is. Looks like in mint condition. We'll take a look at that in just a moment. Actually, what's cool about this box and having the original foam is I do like to store computers in their original boxes. It just makes it easier. I don't like to stack computers on top of each other. So having a box like this, it's useful. I can stick one of my extra 64C shortboards. I think I have 2 of those machines, so I can put one of them in here. All right, next up is an M Audio Oxygen 25, which is a USB MIDI controller. That's pretty cool and actually quite helpful, I think. I don't have any kind of keyboards like that, and it's nice. It's pretty small, which is good. I got something else here. You know what, I'm just gonna pull everything out of this box actually, and we'll show it on the bench because I don't know why I'm doing it on the floor here. It's all a little cramped. And that's it for what's in this box. I'm going to put all this paper back in here. All right, let's see what's in this long skinny box here from Michael. Looks like a power supply, probably for the Commodore 16. In fact, is this like, this kind of looks like the little box that would be inside the larger box, right? The one for the computer. Yep, there it is. Cool. IEC cable. We have like a video cable and one of these bricks. And this, I actually don't think I've ever seen a beige one. They're always the black color. But this does feel like it's very, very heavy, which means it's like epoxy filled, which means it's the type that could go bad and kill your computer. Does anyone recognize this sticker? Is that from a vendor? AAFES? AFES? On one end, there's also a barcode sticker that's pretty faded, but $29. So is that what this thing costs on its own, this power supply? Or is that for the whole computer, maybe? I'm definitely gonna say that this box looks like the original one that would be inside that C64C box. And this is the motherboard that was in there. Let's take a quick look. These are very reliable. So the heatsink is required. It holds the keyboard up. So this won't be something, oh, the heatsink, the RF shield. And that means I won't be tossing that out. So here it is. Oh, and there's the bottom one as well. And there is the motherboard, shortboard. And like I said, these are very reliable. This is not the last generation shortboard because it has the color RAM here outside of the PLA. The very last ones the Commodore made, this was integrated into that PLA. I don't know if they even sold those in North America. That might have been a Europe only thing. But this board is in very, very nice shape. Looks mint, basically. Don't see any sign of rework on the back either. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that this is gonna work. Let's just do a very quick test. All right, I have the motherboard connected to the RetroTink, which is being captured. And if I turn this on, what do we get? Oh, black screen, interesting. We have the white line, but we don't have a picture. The socketed chips are all installed in the correct orientation, but we have a non-functional machine. Let me turn it back on, and I'm just gonna feel for the RAM being really hot because that can be an indicator that there's a problem. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep, that chip right there. It's really hot. That one's fine. So this TI chip right here, I'm gonna say that that is bad. So I'm just gonna draw, I don't know, a question mark on it or something. And let's write a note here. Let's see, Michael Orange, bad RAM, U10. So we're just gonna stick this right on here. And I think this motherboard will be a future repair-a-thon. But I mean, I'm talking when the RAM is like that, getting burning hot right away, 99% sure that that's the problem. I have had one of these, can't remember, it was a shortboard for sure. It had a bad RAM chip. I had to replace both of them to get the machine working again. Even though one was really hot, the other one was also faulty. I'm not even gonna bother testing with dead test or whatever because with the RAM chip burning up like that, it's not gonna work for sure. Okay, inside there with this Amazon box here, let's see what goodies lie within. I think I've said that like 5 times in this video. Michael actually gave me a very detailed list of everything that he was going to be including, but I am just going off of opening it just to kind of be surprised. All right, we have some interesting stuff here. We have some kind of a breakout cable, DB9 to 1/4-inch audio, Motorola stereo headphones, Stereo Moto, wireless Bluetooth headphones. These look on the older side of things when A2DP stereo music was starting to become a thing for cell phones and mobile phones and stuff like that. I think these were early generation headphones. And I mean, now that stuff is super ubiquitous, but for a while, wireless stereo Bluetooth, it was not so common. All right, we have a little breakout board here. This is obviously for a PC motherboard that has onboard sound. In this bag, there's another 9-pin, and this goes to what looks like MIDI. So we have 3 MIDI connections. Here's the floppy disk for the VIC 1541s, basically the same thing as the regular 1541 for the Commodore, which is a white color version. And this is the included test disk that comes with all those drives. This looks like a little beeper of some type. It says speaker, and there's a little holder. And we have 1/8 inch or 3.5 millimeter stereo audio cable. Looks like a RCA, some kind of a DIN connector breakout, probably for like a video card or something. Some more handy dandy 3.5 millimeter stereo audio. Okay, so this thing, I'm gonna have to feature on a separate video and not really talk about it too much here. What this is, the Plus Deck 2C. And you might notice this is the same shape as a CD-ROM drive, for instance. See, it's got mounting holes there. It looks all very much like a regular CD-ROM, but the difference, this is a cassette deck for your PC. So I'm not going to talk any more about this because I want to make a bespoke video about this thing. I guess, okay. So this has a ribbon cable on the back, and here's a ribbon cable. I'm thinking that that actually is what goes with that little breakout card. Where is it? This one here. And I think that's it. This is the audio in and out, or just out, in and out. I don't know. For the cassette player. How wild. All right. Anyhow, like I said, I'm not going to be talking about this any further on this video. All right, let's keep going here. We have another 3.5 inch or 3.5 millimeter stereo jack, some RAM, and this is much newer stuff. Yeah, DDR2, 800 megahertz. So, okay, we have another breakout cable. This one is 15 pin, and it's got two Toslink type optical jacks. SPDIF RCA here, MIDI, probably another digital connection. So this seems to be paperwork for the Creative Labs professional EMU sound card thing, which I'm sure that breakout cable we just saw is for. And it's probably right here. And here is the card. I've actually never seen one of these in person. So this thing says sync on it. And this is a ribbon cable that goes into here. But does that plug into the back of that cassette player? That can't be possible. No way. Anyways, this is a model EM8852. And this is definitely what goes into one of the connections on the back and gives you the digital in and out and the MIDI and whatnot. And then certainly this is the other thing that connects here and gives you these 1/4 inch jacks. And this says out R and L and in R and L. So this is the analog. And if we look at the back here, it says analog there and it says digital there. And this is inside that envelope here. Please read before installation. It says here that there is some kind of a sync card that you connect up. Now it does not look like the little one I plugged into the back of the cassette player. It seems to have different assortment of jacks on it. And that's how you connect up the cables. Yep. And that's it. Pretty simple, but it says 2004. Oh, there's the digital connection there. I can only imagine that back in the day, this was a very expensive card. With all these capabilities and these DSPs on here and fanciness, probably was pretty pricey. And I don't know the deal here. I haven't done the research. Did Creative Labs buy EMU? I think that was a separate company at some point. I'm sure I'm saying EMU. How do you people say it? EMU? Anyways, did they buy them? Was this a product that EMU sold on their own and that Creative Labs started selling under their name, or how'd that work exactly? Okay, I moved the box out of the way. So let's see what else is in here. This looks like a CPU of the Pentium variety, something with MMX most likely. Let's see. Intel Celeron. Oh no, this is actually a Pentium 3 era chip. And it would be a Celeron. 1998. And it looks like we have a SATA cable there. What's this? What is this? The bright orange here. Looks like some Post-it notes, different ones and labels and stuff like that. I think the orange card is simply that, an orange card. Compute Magazine, your first choice for today's PC marketer. And yep, these are Post-it notes. Look at this. Compute powers up your home campaign. Huh. That is interesting. That is pretty sweet. I mean, I feel bad about using these. I've been obviously, where is it here? I have my simple yellow Post-it notes. These are made by, I guess, Post-it brand. I thought that was 3M for some reason. Anyhow, I feel bad using those, but I think I will. Look, these are Post-it brand notes as well. Microsoft Office and a picture of a telephone and a CRT. Oh yeah, okay, I'm gonna use these for sure. We have a cute sticker here. All right, this is something from IBM here. Solutions with Integrity, DB2 with OS2. Now these would have come off of, I guess, a tear pad, and they don't have adhesive on them, so they're not sticky. Got some more Post-it notes for Fox Pro. Will move you. Microsoft. Look at that little Fox icon. Super cute. Those are Post-its. And then Answers, Not Excuses from Digital Electronics Corporation. And these are Post-it brand as well. Super cool. So, I mean, these are obviously old school. And I know people are like, don't use them. But I mean, what's the point of having this stuff if you're not going to use it, right? These were designed to be used. Let me just open up these headphones and take a quick look. There's a little audio cable. That would be it. I assume these are, these have seen better days when it comes to the little plastic foams there. And that's just par for the course. And they're pretty heavy compared to modern stuff. It's funny, like, think about what Apple started with the Apple AirPods, and then now there's a million wireless headphones, so they're not even connected. But these have this plastic neckband, and they're very, very heavy. And let's see what the charging port looks like. Looks like it's a mini USB, which is, shall we say, a little less common these days. And there are buttons on these, probably for volume or whatever, and they do not feel very good. Let's see, there is only a charge port on one of them, so clearly the battery's maybe in both, and then there's some kind of wires that run through the headband here. I have a power bank here and a micro or mini USB cable. Let's just plug this in just for fun. Oh, it lights up. Look at that Motorola logo. Bright blue LEDs. Fancy. So these are actually buttons. I'd imagine the batteries are probably pretty shot on this. Of course, it turns off instantly when I unplug it. I'll just leave these for a few minutes off to the side and let them charge. But the fact that the foams are kind of disintegrating, I'm just going to pull them off. I'm sure they're changeable. It's probably possible to find replacement ones of these on eBay or whatever, but as you can see, they're disintegrating, so I am going to toss those out. Let me just give this a quick spray clean here, just to clean up some of this mess. So that's interesting. Stop charging. It seems like they're not charging, because what happens is the power bank will turn off on its own after a little while if no current is being detected that's being consumed, and I'm assuming that nothing's being detected, which is why it's shut off. So that's probably because the batteries are just completely dead. It's probably exactly what's happening here. And yeah, look, it just shut right off while I was looking at them. If I push the button on the power bank, it turns back on. So yeah, unfortunately, it's not going to charge. I could try plugging it into a regular power supply. Maybe it'll charge after a while, but almost certainly the lithium-ion batteries in this are shot. And I gotta say, I do not miss this headband style of headphones at all, predominantly because they never fit properly. These headbands are not big enough for my head. I have a big head. I am so glad we've moved on to different design from these old styles. All right, and what we have here is the M-Audio Oxygen 25. Let's pop this open, see what's going on in here. Now, I am the least musical person when it comes to composing music. It's still fun to tinker around, but ultimately, sorry, I keep blocking the camera view. Ultimately, I'm no good at that. And, but I'm sure this is actually like a decent piece of equipment. There it is, and it looks like it's brand new. I don't think this has ever been used. Maybe it was taken out of the box. It's got on the back here a USB port, the sustain pedal, power on off switch. I'm a little bummed actually that there is no MIDI output on this, because that's what I was hoping it would have, because I do have like a Roland sound canvas that was given to me from my friend Dave Just Dave, and I don't have any kind of keyboard like this to test it with. It would have been fun to tinker around on there, but with USB, that's not gonna happen. But you can see here that it looks like the plastic's never been removed from the little screen there. So we have these pitch control knobs and modulation and the keys. One thing I'm noticing, which is kind of weird, is that this is sitting on the bench right now. It's got all 4 rubber feet, and yet the whole thing is warped. like the plastic case is warped, which is odd because it was in its original foam in the box. Like, why would it be warped? Probably just been like this its entire time. So when you play it, the whole thing vibrates and bangs around on the desk. Sometimes a way to fix that is you flip it over, you loosen all the screws, and then you kind of twist it. And while you're twisting it, tighten the screws again. And then that should hold the case back together in a better, less bent way. So let me just do that. Let me give that a quick try. All right, all the screws are loosened. So if I put this down on the bench now, still bent, but less. It's definitely less. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this roll of tape here, I'm gonna put it under this corner, and then I'm gonna hold this with my arm and kind of push down on the other corner, and it's all gonna be hard to see. And while I do that, I'm just gonna tighten up these screws. I've had to do this with laptop computers before to get them to stop flopping around on the desk, because I gotta say, when you're typing on a laptop and it's banging around, super annoying. And actually, you know what? Now that it's sitting on the table, it's fixed. Yeah, it's not wobbling anymore at all. So that did the trick. I have a USB cable plugged into my bench machine. Let's just power this up. All right, setting up device, Oxygen 25. It's called a USB receiver. What that means, I'm not really sure, but moving this here has an effect on this display here. It goes from 0 to 1.27. Moving the modulator control has a similar effect. Nice and smooth actuation there. Let's see about the pitch control. Also same range there. And it's nice, it actually ends up right perfectly in the middle at 64. That's actually pretty good. Control the octave, select, I don't know, stuff, does stuff. There's a stop button, play button. Got these patch buttons that, oh, they light up when I push them. I guess looking at this, the way this works is each one of these affects a parameter, right? Like C5, C1, and this says C11, 12, 13, and 14. So I think pushing this shows 127 on the display. It's obviously setting C11 value to 127, and it's probably 0 otherwise. So when I let go, it goes back to 0. That's kind of cool how that works. So that is the M Audio Oxygen 25. Not really too sure what else to do with this thing. If it had regular MIDI, I'd plug it into the sound canvas, but the computer detected it. So I assume it's sending stuff to my Windows machine. What the Windows machine is doing with it doesn't seem to do anything because I'm not running the appropriate software. So if anyone has any fun suggestions for a super non-musical person on how to utilize something like this, definitely put a comment in the comment section below. And the last thing from Michael is this. It's the Christmas present that he sent. Very nice. I feel bad because it's been a long time since Christmas. It's August now. And I could have got this from him back in March. And of course, due to my lack of responsiveness in my email, that was not possible. So there's a card here. Let's see what he wrote. It's a nice Charlie Brown card. Oh, look at that. To Adrian, hope all your merriest wishes come true and bring you a happy Christmas. Wishing you a very merry belated retro Christmas 2020, Michael Orange. Very nice penmanship there, Michael. That is sweet. Now, what is this? I'm super curious. This really is like Christmas in the summertime. All right, nice tissue paper here. Something between cardboard. Let's see, I can slide this out. Simply amazing. This is a replacement set of key stickers for my Commodore PET 2001. Michael obviously noticed that on my PET, which I got from the original owner, he used the computer a ton and it wore out the labels on the original keys. Now the original keys aren't stickers, they're like these little metal plates, but they have printing on them and they're all worn out. So this is a replacement set of the stickers that you can put on top of the keyboard to kind of rejuvenate, make it look new again. Printed like it's punk rock. Raghaus Studios. Marcus Hartel. There are the stickers, and they're the metallic-y color, just like the originals. I wonder how durable these are in the long term, though, if you stick these on. Less selfies and more books. Right, so this is the printing company again. Graphic design, typesetting, letterpress printing, and a coaster. And I love it. It's beautifully embossed as well. Well, Michael, thank you very much. This is awesome. I definitely thought about ordering a set of these for that machine, and I never did. But it's very cool to have these. I'd love to know more about people who have used these and how is the longevity of these. Like, it is printed, so I would be afraid of typing on this and it would actually wear out, and then you would have to try to get these stickers off of the keys. So that is my one concern. But this is amazing. What a very nice gift there, Michael. Thank you so much for sending that in. Okay, so for storage, I'm gonna stick this back in the bag here. I'm trying to get the air out of here. Fold this back up, and I'm gonna put it back into the cardboard that it was in until I know exactly what I'm gonna be doing. I'm also looking for advice on the prep. So if I'm gonna stick these on, what would be the best way to prepare the tops of the keys to make sure that these stick properly? And then how to get alignment of the stickers on the keys just right. I'm not really good with very precision work like that, so I would love any tips and feedback that people have to help me apply these. So that's it. That was everything that Michael sent in. Thanks very much for sending it in. There's going to be some follow-up videos to be seen, like that cassette deck, also the repair of that Commodore 64, and of course these PET keys, and then the test of that sound card when I have one of my more modern PCs out. I think it's probably going to need Windows XP to work properly. Maybe Windows 2000, not quite sure about that. And I have those types of machines in the lab here, but they're not things I typically use because they're a little bit newer than the usual DOS 8-bit stuff that I typically use. So anyhow, thanks again, Michael. And with that, that is the end of this mail call video. I want to thank all my viewers who have sent in so many wonderful donations for the mail call segments, and of course the Saturday videos, which I sometimes make out of mail call items. And if you haven't seen the item you've sent in yet, don't worry. There is still a bunch that I haven't gotten to on video. Most of it's open. I'm really trying to stay ahead of the packages and not let them accumulate, which is what I used to do, and then open them all up in a batch. So you'll notice now that a lot of these mail call videos, I'm opening stuff right in front of the camera, and again, that is because of that reason. I'd like to give a huge thanks to my patrons who have been supporting me. Their names are scrolling up the side of the screen now. It really helps because YouTube revenue is down in the dumps. You probably heard this from other YouTubers as well. Who knows what's going on, but whatever it is, ad revenues are just way down. If you want to become a patron yourself and support the channel, you can do so. There's a link in the description below, so click that and check it out. And what else am I going to say here? Yeah, if you like this video or you saw anything in here that is worth commenting on, definitely stick a comment down below. I'd appreciate a thumbs up if you liked this video, but if you didn't, you know what to do. Hit that thumbs down button. Subscribe, that would be great. And check out the second channel as well. There's videos posted up there all the time. I think I've said that enough time. Probably everyone who watches the main channel knows about the second channel. But a sub over there would be helpful just so YouTube at least pops it up on your recommendations when I upload a new video there. And I guess that is going to be it. So stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.